Hi. Hey everybody, welcome to New Earth. This is the early morning ascension show, except it's really late. It's really late. I'm doing it backwards because that's what we do. Sending you beautiful blessings and namaste, everyone. We love you. We love you all, everybody. How are you all feeling? Tickles and bubbles. Tickles and bubbles. This will be a really quick alignment for all of those who are headmasters of your home, co-creators of your own sacred space, and doing the alignment to who you are as the sacred geometry of love and light, who you are as the sacred geometry of breath, and the ignition of breath in the allness of your own self-direction, of your own sovereignty, so that you are absolutely in love and in alignment with who you are as spirit, grounding to Mother Earth as she is the vessel and the caretaker and the keeper of who we are in our physical matter, feeding us all that we need and to be nourished as physical matter, biochemistry as matter, the energy that we are as spirit, the omnipresence of who we are becoming. Omnipresence is the all that is in the breath and in the vibration of the essence that is source, creator, all life. There is an essence and a harmonic song that is made up of many things because it is the creator, and undeniable and unimaginable to how we interact and engage with it, all within the beautiful experience of who we are working together in our oneness and in our collective rights of equality and fairness and oneness, and understanding what oneness really means to each and every one of us. As we rewrite our own personal stories that we're transcending from 3D into this neutral, beautiful space of aligning with who we are as the epicenter of the Holy Christ, epicenter of who we are as divine heavenly beings here upon earth, rewriting our new earth templates, rewriting our own stories, rewriting the script of who we are, not to be placed in any box, not to be placed in any role or definitions from other timelines and other stories and other versions of what people choose for us, but that we get to be self-directed in who we are. We get to nominate our highest health. We get to nominate who we are as the Holy Spirit being that we are creating matter. And we get to be this emulation of radiance. We get to be this emulation of perfect health. We get to be this emulation of who we are as divine creatures upon earth, creating this new beautiful earth that we get to walk on. Everything is codes of harmonics and sacred geometry based on the vibration of who we are. And why it's really important that we work within the knowing and the self-nurturance and the honoring of who we are within this multidimensional bodies as physical, spirit, honoring of our emotional body, our mental body, and harmonizing all within the male and the female, and having that beautiful alignment within the Vesica Pisces, and why that pillar of light is so important. Because that means that you're honoring both divine, feminine, and masculine energies within yourself. Anytime that something is presented, you're honoring it from that neutral space, choosing to respond from that higher self perspective, from the centering of who you are as the core vibration of love and oneness, forgiveness and compassion, then choosing to respond in that loving and caring way. And also from what you choose is right for you now. Because your choice in this now moment from this heart-centered space will allow you to create within those fifth dimensional frequencies and not continue to return to those karmic cycles of the limitation of fear and greed and all the games that have been played, because those are the energies we're letting go. So that's why the law of allowance is really important. The law of allowance allows you just to sit within the surrender of source, the beautiful, thank you, creator, the beautiful loving energy of knowing that you are eternal spirit, that you are eternal love, that you are eternal light, and allowing that all timelines that you've earned and you've worked so very hard to maintain your status of perpetuation and momentum through all timelines, to return and fall back into that space of self-love and self-guidance and journeying to who you are as that Christic being of light, and fully aligning every now moment what is in the highest and best interest of my nourishment, my own guidance, what makes me feel good, what makes me feel joyful. Is this serving me and my soul's highest counsel to where I want to be and how I want to co-create, and what is really serving me and what relationships are serving me as far as the nourishment and the benevolence that I seek, and the entanglement and the interaction that I seek to also rise up to new soul tribe levels, and healing and co-creating and being a leader on that level for the human collective, or whatever it is that you choose to co-create within. And again, I will always say, and we were confirmed by the councils of light last night when they were giving me a channel, we're entering in this new phase. Of course, we've just come off of the Lion's Gate. And the Lion's Gate is the highest alignment that we have, and the portal that we have to the galactic center. for our planet and how she opens, and many councils and many beings that work within these sacred geometry, sacred portals through the ley lines and through the many galactic centers. The galactic center is a divine feminine experience. The galactic center is more or less the womb of our galaxy that allows us that rebirthing energy. And it's that beautiful rebirthing of the divine mother energy that we're all working in correspondence with, to nurture ourselves, to give that mothering energy to ourselves so that we can heal all the wounds that need to be healed, that we did not receive for all of our lineages and all of our Akashic timelines, because we're really releasing everything that is separation, falling into the divine capacity of who we are as divine mothers, the graces of the holy creators in all divine feminine nurturance for all of the healings and all of the beautiful remembrances of who we are. Because the healing doesn't have to feel so suppressive and depressive and like a lot of make work. It's just a matter of releasing everything that comes up and allowing yourself to feel it fully and completely, so that you have the capacity to know that I can carry great light. I don't have to carry around what feels heavy or dense. I can modify it in any moment. I can choose to say, okay, well, I was working in that vibration. I want to work in this vibration now. And you want to expand and work your way out and see how things feel and entertain whatever comes before you. And just know that law of allowance is that you're able to work as a master, and just whatever comes before you, you have the mastery to work around it and navigate it and include it all as your oneness. And you have to say, this is coming to me because I've called it in and I really want to be a part of this beautiful buffet that Source and the Creator provide to me, because Spirit wants to make sure that you can navigate any frequency. As you can see, I've played all the games of greed and all the games of control and subjugation and suppression and all of those things that at first when you're awakening, they cause great fear and trauma, because those are the remembrances in your chakras that just want to be brought forward and just loved. That was a timeline, but it's not now. Now is new. Now I get to just honor and caress myself into healing and into oneness, that's an experience and a memory that I maybe had from my childhood, but it's not who I am now. I get to choose who I am. I get to rewrite my story and my script. I get to choose the characters in my story. I get to choose the landscape of my story, and I get to choose the direction of what template and what dimensional frequency I get to play within. And it's really important that through our daily self-clearing, we get to align with a new version of us. We get to call in our highest codes, and we get to realign to a template that really works for us. We get to co-create our reality. So what is it in your 5D reality that we've asked you often in our videos, because it's really good to remind yourself and have these as affirmations throughout your day and little sticky notes wherever you can. What is it that I want to see for my new reality? What is it I want for New Earth? What is it I want for my collective? How do I really want to see the children play? How do I want to see the children explore? What do the children want? Are we asking the children? What do they want in these beautiful, incredible co-creative experiences? What do we want them to see and create with and play with in their reality? How do we want our whole entire collective to be healthy and wise? And how can we see them being this? When we seek the light and we ask for the light in all moments that we're affirming who we are in these new versions of us, these new version stories, we get to absolutely see it because we're seeking it. We want to seek it. We want to see the source and the spirit within all things because we are. We're just releasing all of those illusions that just thought of the density and the separation and putting us in fear experiences because we gave our power away to everything outside of us, or thought that others or other systems or other control systems had power over us. But that's just an illusion. All of the power is returned within, and each and every soul has their own journey and their own destination for their experience with spirit. And that is the beautiful experience of self-nourishment and self-care, and why it's so important at the end of every night or at the beginning of every day, wherever you have time to choose to create that self-love and that self-keeping with your own health and your wellness, is to set the sacred energy for your space, the sacred intention, and just create those beautiful visualizations for everybody in your creative reality. And just include Gaia, because remember, the sacred trinity that you always come within is your soul has chosen a blueprint. That soul blueprint includes all of the sacred little circles that you work within for the inclusion of everybody's soul lessons to reflect back to one another what's needed for soul growth, for the release and the acceptance of who we are as wholeness and oneness and all one. And it's all about oneness. It's all about unconditional love and acceptance. That's why the law of allowance is so important, that you just allow. Just allow whatever's coming forward, and then you can choose from this neutral state. I understand where this is coming from. I understand what this is reflecting to me. I understand why I called this in. And now I get to forgive and love fully and completely. And now I get to choose my new reality. But also, too, to create your own sacred space so that it's sacred for you. What you intend to see within your space, inner and outer. My space within my body, I want it to feel really alive and filled with light. Because what the councils were showing me is that this next phase of our ascension for humanity is going to be really important for all of us, us that are teachers and co-creators and healers, is to really help prepare those awakening in whatever stage that they're at in their awakening for greater alignment to light within their multidimensional bodies that we've talked about ever since we started teaching about ascension for 15 years now, is the understanding of our ability to hold and be the capacity holders and the processors of light, because we are an epicenter of light, which is the epicenter is knowing that you're a multidimensional being creating matter, and that your spirit creates the matter that your body is, the matter that your body is, the skin and the bones and the organs. So if you're in alignment with who you are as spirit, your spirit puts together your body and however it chooses to. That means that you have ultimate control and management and navigation within all that is health and wellness. And they were showing me last night that this next phase of humanity will all be really important about our ability and our capacity to process greater light codes, and how that is really functioning in our ability to take on higher vibrational informations and wisdoms and downloads at a higher accelerated rate, a faster rate, and processing the information through the rewiring that's been done over the many years. And those that are newly awakened, not necessarily understanding why they feel the way they do sometimes. And those of you that are awakening, so just look back on our videos, because we have so many videos about awakening, so it depends what video you're guided to. So just look back through the titles of our videos, and your guides will help you guide to which one that will be working for you, because we've written and did videos within the whole ascension process and how to work through the various awakening stages, whether it's your fields or your bodies or your psychic gifts or your talents or your skills that are being activated, and how that feels, so that you can get an idea for, wow, why do I feel so intense this time? Why do I feel this? Why do I feel that? What am I going through? Oh my gosh, because so many that are moving through ascension don't understand why they're feeling and why they're experiencing what they do, and how they can move forward and how they can transcend it. Because we're all meant, and we all have the ability, regardless of what you've been taught or told, those limiting stories and the limiting characters that place you in boxes and limitations of not having control over your experience. Everything that you experience, you are able to transcend. You call it in, you manifest whatever it is before you, because you have the equal opportunity to transcend it. And that is the infinity loop. And that's called the new entrainment to higher vibrational experiences, and ever eternal. You are an infinite, eternal being that has constant capacity to always entrain a higher vibration, always entrain a higher vibration. And that's why releasing all of the mental belief systems, the patterns, because patterns are just habituation from beliefs and what you were taught or told. What you chose to take on as your own, which is not yours. They're just stories that you were taught and told. But you can choose to release yourself from those stories. Or not. It's always free will. But if you have a story that's limiting you as far as what you think you are able to co-create, what you're not able to co-create, it's up to each person to go within and start healing those inner wounds of limitation and fear. And then really work out, what stories was I working under? What beliefs do I hold about who I am, what I exist within, and what exists within me? It always wraps down to those three questions. And then you can choose to create that new neutral vibration. Say, well, I can do anything. I'm infinite. I'm eternal. That is needed so I can get this. And that is just the transmutation. I get to choose from this heart space that is infinite, divine, sacred heart, because I am divine. I am sacred. And it's from the heart through which we ascend and we transmute, we evolve, we press out. And in that, you get to entrain yourself into something new. But it takes that you create that new pattern. It takes that you create that new intention. Wow, I really want to feel great today. I have full capacity to use my cells, to be the use of myself, to be the light of my cells. And I get to manage, because it's micro, macro. As above, so below, and as within, so without. You are all the omnipresent that we've talked about. And so you have this ability to set that sacred intention every day, every night. Align your health. I'm aligning the health in the epicenter of who I am, and I'm going to access and I'm going to intend. Can we clear away anything that is holding me back in the mental, the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual bodies, so that I can align to the highest vibrational thought forms and thought experiences that are continuing to press out the telomeres and the growth of all of the synaptics. So we're creating new synaptic little pathways and little zip zaps of energy that brain wants to reach up to, And that's through the inspiration of spirit to break away the patterns and all of the calcium and the density that held you in limiting thought patterns of limitation, fear, and suppression. And that is for everybody that is working on releasing all subjugation, releasing all limitation, releasing all lack of fairness, and all of those programs that we've all come within to really heal all of the collective timelines of being suppressed. Because we are entering into timelines of great light. And anything that was left hidden or under the carpet, or anything that was left for all of us to wake up and birth anew, it will all come to light. So just trust it and just know. We don't have to worry about any of the conspiracy theories or the rights and the wrongs. Everything will automatically be bathed by the natural process of light. So you don't have to worry about anything that, might be, out of one's control to kind of fix. And it's not your job to fix everything. It's just your job to live in the highest capacity of light, and to know that you can entrain your body and your cells to call in, process, and integrate light. Because we've been dense for eons. We've been more dense matter. The matter that we carry is dense, but you can change it by your entrainment of who you are as light, the epicenter of who you are as light. And so what they were showing me is that because we're awakening to who we are as the epicenter of light, we're carrying ourselves as greater light, we're reminding ourselves that we're light, we can intend our sacred space, inner and outer, the sacred space that you set for your home, what you choose to call in for your home, the energies that you choose to call in was love and benevolence, the angelics, the rainbow tribes of, the rainbow tribes of ascension, the angels and the fairies and the gnomes, all working with Gaia for the alignment. Thank you, the sacredness of all that is light. Thank you, Spirit. And call those angels in every night as you're doing your evening clearing. Just taking your little smudge stick and doing your evening clearing of your bodies and your space. And then just sit in bed and call those energies of the highest intention for whatever it is that you need cleared and healed that evening, so that you can wake up in the morning and have a new inner and outer standing of who you are as light, and the ability to process and seek light, so that you're setting those intentions in the evening and at night to be this new higher loop of entrainment. And we posted on our Facebook page, if you wanted to go have a look, the new infinity entrainment loop that the Arcturians showed me. And we created the entrainment loop and some videos a while back on affirmations for the new higher vibrational entrainment loop. And you can create your own affirmations too. What is it? What exactly you're working on, whether it's a health, mental rebalancing, a physical rebalancing, or your spiritual awakening or activation. And we hold many classes and weekly classes and webinars and private coaching sessions if you want to join us for activations and various things that we can do to help help you choose your own inheritance of your expansive infinite potential, and choose to release any blocks or hurdles through the acknowledgement and acceptance of who you are as light. And setting that sacred tone and sacred intention of who you choose to be, who you choose to experience yourself as, and what you choose to explore yourself as pure light. And so they were showing me, because it's really going to be exciting, and it's going to take all of us to pull all of our gifts and our skills and our talents together. And many of you that join us on our classes, and we've talked about this many times, is that because of the various stages that everybody is at awakening, and because of the many gifts that we each hold, it will require that we really explore the capacity that we have for multidimensional healing modalities, and how every person will creating. They gave me a download on many things that we will be creating as far as the preparation for the first contact and the protocol. And we've talked about this before in our videos too. And just getting familiar with what is your first contact protocol with your teams. And just journal it and just be musing softly and gently about it. And that protocol contains many things, because we are multidimensional beings. And at first off, what they said includes being in joy of all spirit. That's the number one thing. And so, and one would think, well, why would that be? Wouldn't it be like, making sure that we know how to say hello to beings that we've never met before, or, releasing all those fear experiences. Well, if you're being in the joy of all spirit, anything before you is a spirit, and that's the omnipresence, the essence of source. And that again is allowing you to see and perceive all as light, as God, regardless of how anything in your reality or your environment is behaving or acting or projecting. To see it and know it all as source light, and to be in joy of it as light. So that is, again, seeing beyond what is, being in the world but not of it, so that you can see into the light of all that is spirit and creating that oneness effect. And if you are, the more and more that you do that, and you're releasing all that is separation, the little things and the urgencies and little pettiness that we choose to create those separation dramas, then those get released little by little, and all of those little threads of vibrational stories just get released, because you're seeking the oneness and the joy of spirit in all moments and all things and all beings. And so that was really kind of exciting, just to create that one simple little statement, for them to give me a visualization of meeting your first contact team. And they said, they can feel the vibration of our fields, just as if those of us that have gone through many, many years of ascension training and ascension experience, and we're now helping those newly awakened, that when your fields and your subtle bodies and all of your intuitive gifts and your psychic gifts and your psychic skills and your DNA and all of the activations that occur in the process of ascension, because they're infinite amount of evolutionary experiences that your bodies and your fields transition into, that you can feel into the vibration that someone holds in their field about who they are, what they exist in, and what exists within them. And so it's very easy to feel into those vibrations and how much fear they hold within their field. And so fear and joy cannot be held in the same component. So that's why it's really important, again, to go through your daily clearing, and anything that is causing fear or control or limitation that really suffocates the cells and really blocks the cells from receiving light, then it's really important to just clear up all of those illusions and really understand the stories of where they came from, and they're not really yours. You just kind of took them all as truth, but they're not yours. Because you're an infinite being of light. So what truths and what realities and what stories are you're allowing your time and your energy to be focusing on? So choose focusing reality stories that you get to create with spirit from your highest guidance. That's what is self-directed. My highest guidance today says that I'm infinite, and I'm really in the joy and the spirit of all that is source creator, and I seek the joy of spirit in all moments. I'm going to continue to align to that, because then I can know that I will be prepared for first contact, and that's part of my first protocol. Is, am I in joy of all spirit, or am I finding separation, or am I finding judgment in things before me? Am I honoring the law of allowance? Is there anything before me that fears anything that comes before me, or I'm in joy of spirit? Because essentially, in the law of allowance, you understand that all is spirit. Nothing can harm you when you're standing in that purity of who you are as love. And that is the detachment of all that we've been brought up to believe, because your alignment with pure love, your alignment with who you are as God, your alignment with who you are as spirit and source creator, there is no fear. You stand and you walk as the heavens. You are as thy name is. And that is what's called healing of thy name. Because you're healing of all of those vibrational stories passed down for generations and lineages. You're healing it for all of your ancestors. You're healing it for all timelines, all aspects of who you are as a soul. That's profound. And so we wanted to take this moment to say, just align yourself with affirmations throughout your day. Am I in joy of all that is spirit? Because all things are spirit. The omnipresent we can't even see, but you will be able to see once your gifts and your talents and your skills turn on, because it's an intuitive experience. And breathe. And ground all that you are within Gaia. And choose to activate who you are as a multidimensional being of light. I choose to activate who I am as the highest being of light that I am today. I align with the codes and with the light of who I am as spirit. And I surrender to my soul and my higher self so that I'm guided by my highest intentions of love and light. And I surrender ego today. Ego will assist me to navigate. Ego will assist me to maneuver. But it is my higher self and my soul that is the compass and the highest guidance that I choose to create my path with. And I'm choosing really great excitement to pave my path with love and light. And the dimensional reality I choose is love and benevolence, and I seek the oneness and light in all things. And I'm really in great joy to see the light in all, to seek the light in all. And I'm in such joy of all that is spirit, for there is nothing to fear. I am pure and I am sacred, and I am true to this knowing. I choose a reality of love and benevolence and happiness and joy, for we are meant to be of joy. How hard is it for each of us to choose joy? Why aren't we more happy? Why don't we choose joy and happiness? How many of us fall into those stories of just being smaller or being less than or being sad because others around us feel comfortable being that way? No, you are meant to be happy. You are meant to be joyful. You are meant to be filled with glowing light. And in the law of allowance, I'll allow all others to be who they choose to be. And when they, choose to create those dialogues with you, why aren't you happy? And why can't you be this? And why can't you be that? Why do you have to move away and start something new? And you can say, I'm allowing you, and I ask that you allow me, because I choose to be of joy and light. I choose. I choose to see the earth as love and benevolence. I choose to see that there is eternal peace. I choose to create eternal love and light on this planet. I choose, because I choose to seek the light and joy in all things that is God. And my space is sacred. My body is sacred. My cells are so sacred, the micro macro of spirit. And I choose to be light. I choose to be the vessel of light that I've come to be. And nothing and no one and no program and no vibrational story will ever hold me back from compromising my light again. Because I chose those stories and I've experienced them. But now I'm going to release all of those stories. And I get to be me now. I get to remind myself every day that I get to choose my vibration. I get to choose breath, which activates those greater light experiences, just to pop in my field and say, no, I choose vibrational breath today. I choose vibrational awareness. I choose vibrational currency, and that's joy and happiness, because I can. Why shouldn't I be happy today? So can you. And show others that there is another way. There's another way to be and live. There's another way to work out our differences. There's another way to honor our diversity. There's another way to allow all to be treated with fairness and equality. There's a way for everyone to shine. There's a way for everyone to create and be humbled and to create that reverence of one another in their own unique statuses and their own unique experiences and expressions. For we're all here to experience that which is God, Spirit, Source. And we all have different pacing. We all have different soul lessons. And that's why within each other we seek our oneness. Because those stories are worthy. Those stories are meant to be there so that we can look at them and say, who am I now? Am I aligning with my highest light? Am I creating the highest vibration within my sacred space? Am I giving that radiance to my children? Am I acting within my highest light so that my children see that it's okay for them too? So that no matter who they are around, no matter what they face, that our children are gifted the same divine feminine potentiations. If you have daughters and you have sons that also want to understand their divine feminine energy, are you giving them the highest potentiation so that you're acting in honor of who you are in those energies? That it's okay and it's honorable and it's who we are now as expressive beings, to be the most highly creative beings on this planet and in this galaxy that we have ever known to be true at the consciousness level that we hold now, that we're constantly activating new evolutionary intelligence, that we're calling in those greater light capacities, and we have the speed and the awareness to process great light and great wisdoms. We know that, we understand that, we can process great wisdom. We've been here for eons, and now we get to activate these beautiful wisdoms of who we are as the highest capacity light bringers. And we get to then anchor it to this beautiful planet. And each of us get to choose. So set your stage and your sacred space for higher intelligent wisdom and your ability to intend, I am processing the greater light. I'm calling in greater light, and all day I'm going to seek the greater light, because light is within all that is joyful. Light is within all things. It's just us becoming aware of it. It's all light. It's all source. It's all the omnipresent speaking and entangling with one another. And anything that comes up in as illusion, just accept it and honor it. Just say that's a part of the story. But I get to choose what part of that illusion do I want to be engaged with or not engaged with. I get to choose to entangle or not entangle and engage. Because when you choose to engage with it, you're perpetuating the story. So at any time that you have those vibrational karmic experiences that want you to engage in those vibrational stories that don't make you feel good, don't make you see and know who you are as the goodness that you are and the evolutionary being that you are, just choose to detach. I'm choosing to detach. I choose a new story. I choose a new vibrational experience of who I am. And just allow them to have their presence as well, to want to continue in those stories. But you can choose with choice, with voice. Speak your truth, because that is the spirit of your voice. That is the divine guidance that you have within this spiritual center, the vortice of who you are. My choosing of my spiritual voice is to stand up for who I am as spirit and soul and matter. And I choose to vibrate in the vibration of love and joy and peace and oneness. So I won't engage in those stories anymore. And speak the truth of your spirit. And stand in the power and set boundaries, you know. And setting boundaries doesn't mean that others walk away from you and stay away from you. It just means that you're honoring the respect level and the value, and others can choose to respect your boundaries or not. And then if they choose not to, then that's when they'll leave your space. And so it's teaching others that you have boundaries and that your space is worthy and your energy is worthy of them to respect those boundaries. It's not a constant taking experience. Boundaries are set because you are sacred. Boundaries are set because there's not an infinite taking experience, that you must reserve your energy and your time and your wisdom for those that also give equally and have respect for their space equally. So you're always leveling up in vibration so that all honor the vibration of love and light that they are. And there will be those that don't want to play those honoring games and those sacred respect games. That's okay. That's when they'll walk away. And that's when those vibrational energies, that's the law of allowance, the law of vibration will always just allow the energies to play out where they're meant to play out. Not all souls are going to want the same journey, and that's okay. It's all perfect. It's all God. It's all source. It's all allowing us to see the oneness within each other. So wonderful and so sacred. So just know that we're meant to be accelerating. And sometimes those accelerations will make us feel really tired because we're releasing a lot of the density that's been held in our bodies and our chakras. So anytime you have any of those dense stories that are coming up to say, oh boy, that's another story that's just coming up, and you have just a day where you just feel kind of melancholy, then just release those stories and just say, I'm just honoring this experience of feeling melancholy. And giving yourself some time, just book out some time, just going to process these energies. I'm going to integrate these energies. And then I'm going to realign to my center, and I'm going to choose this, this, and this. Give yourself 3 things, really quick and easy things that you can do to raise your vibration. A few minutes of positive affirmations, a walk along the beach using positive affirmations that you can hear in your headphones, and moving the energy out and around your body, because your matter holds on to energy. So if you're not clearing it and you're not aligning and calling in greater light, processing it to higher elevations, then your body will be kind of congested, and then you feel stagnant. And so it's really important to clear out and spend the beginning and the end of your day realigning your epicenter and realigning your intentions for your space, and then raising the level of who I choose to be, because I'm really activating the ability that I can process anything that my teams and my higher self sends me as an inspiration or as codes or downloads, because you receive downloads when you're open to receiving them. And oftentimes that is in our sleep time or meditation time, or when we're just doing things around the house that I've written about in my books. We have Ascension books that are on Barnes & Noble and Amazon. And we're going to, we've just been so busy, have our webpage up soon. And we're going to get that going. And so feel free to join us every week. Those inspirations and synchronicities that Spirit will always offer you is when you're doing something that you enjoy, when you're not all in that, loop of mental mind noise. And you can easily just reduce that mental mind noise by just doing breath and calling all of your consciousness in and dropping your consciousness down to your heart. And really focusing, those of you that are empaths, those of you that are crystals, will really, really have to focus on grounding. If you have any experience with OCD or autism, then grounding is really, really important to start rebalancing and bringing peace to the multidimensional bodies. I'm bringing peace and grounding. My candle was doing some really great things there. And just bringing peace and just grounding, because I was thinking about putting feet in the sand for the children that really find it a challenge when they're going through big fluctuations of energy going through their body. Really important that we remind them before they go to school every day, just to focus on grounding a couple of times a day and breath work. so that the reorienting is trying to stay in their body, because many of these high vibrational children usually want to travel up and be up in the higher chakras, and that's when they usually create a lot of clumsiness in their bodies, and they're falling a lot in school. My children have gone through various stages of that because the earth energy has been so very dense and very challenging for them to be grounded in. And so just let them know that it's safe to be grounded here, that we're making it a safe place for them, and we're releasing all the fear and greed and all of these stories that just keep us so limited and in pain. It's not necessary. With all the stories that we tell ourselves and the negative mind chatter that goes through in any one day would be phenomenal if you absolutely had the clairaudience to hear some of the thought forms that are going on in even one person's experience. And so you can imagine that these empaths and these crystal children, why they want to spend so much time in the higher chakras, and why there's oftentimes more of those escapisms, and why there's so much time spent in the escapisms, because we're not being taught, and we're not understanding how important and how easy it really can be just to deal and handle your emotions. Just handle them and know that it's okay. We got to start talking about what's uncomfortable. We got to start understanding and knowing that all of these emotions are temporary, but we must allow them to move through us, and know that there's a benefit to the emotions and how we can shift and change it and transmute it. Not to be afraid of your emotional body, because that's how we manifest, how we create. But how do we honor the experience so that we're not being in fear all the time, or judging or harming, or placing blame or guilt or shame on any other? So just understanding the beautiful experience of who we are as multidimensional beings, and learning the new way of being in 5D, and allowing ourselves to really raise the intellectual and potentiation of humanity. We're multidimensional beings. And in all of our healing, and in all of our manifestation, and all that we are becoming as high vibrational beings, preparing ourselves for first protocol. What does that mean for you? How can you create that sacred space of seeking the joy of all spirit? That is you, your reflection in you, and all things is facing you. So what vibration are you facing it with? And what stories are continually to pop up so that you can just release those belief patterns and choose a higher one, that you are infinite, you are eternal, and you are light. And ground that to earth, and just remind the children it's okay and it's safe to be here. We're going to get through this. We're working all through these new transitional potentiations and processes, and we get to come up with new ways to create what we call education. But how can they be fun? How can they be serving the children? How can the children be how can all children be absolutely involved in what and how they choose to learn? We are multidimensional, and our systems should be multidimensionally faceted. Absolutely. Our healing systems, our learning systems, everything that we create should be multidimensional, multifaceted, because we are. They cannot be in 3D. We cannot heal a 5D child in 3D systems. We're going to have to evolve and to understand that we are highly intellectual, highly spirited experiences, that we get to choose the direction of who we are through our consciousness. And how awake are we to that? How embracing are we of that? How navigating are we of that in all moments? Are you in the joyous spirit? Yes, Spirit, I am. Spirit, I see you and I know you in all things. I am the master of my experience. I'm the master of my creatorhood. And I choose to see spirit and oneness in all things, because I am the creator of my story. Thank you, Spirit. And I'm so grateful for all of these people and all of our friends, our sacred communion. Thank you, dear lighted ones. We love you so much for the intentions that you set for your bodies, the intentions you set for your tribe, the intention you set for all that you are as a creator of love and light and abundance and good health in all things and all ways. We thank you so much. And we send you love and light. The donation links are below. Join us on Saturdays, new moons and full moons, and anyone that would like to purchase the packages of coaching and vocational training. There was more information that came out, and we're going to have our next class on Saturday. And we're going to channel more from the councils of light on the wondering and the pondering of how we are all preparing new ways to prepare for first contact shifts, what that includes, how we create greater capacity to process and integrate greater light codes in those downloads. Downloads are very real. They come in a multidimensional way. We'll talk differently about downloads in a whole other video. Maybe tomorrow we'll talk about downloads, because it's not any one thing. It's everything is multidimensional. So how one person considers a download is not how another person receives it or processes it or integrates it. Again, it's multifaceted. multidimensional, and it's unique to each person, just like light language. And so we love you, dear ones. We'll talk about that later, otherwise it could go on forever. We love you, dear light ones. Namaste, and be sacred in your love and your body, and know that you are the writer and the creator of your life, and provide the radiance and the empowerment and encouragement and inspiration to all children. That's what they truly need from us. Not to be guided and told what to do, but to empower them, to encourage them, and to inspire them that they too are masters in their own body. And we are here to create the most beautiful, luxurious earth in all of our galaxy, in oneness and in unity and fairness to all. Namaste, your little ones. We love you. Rainbow tickles. Bye.